Good evening. My name is Taylor McBride. For completion of the requirements for EMGT-5033 at the University of Arkansas, that is Intro to Engineering Management, I will now present my midterm discussion on the strategy design and development process, focusing on SWOT and my future uses. Okay, so what is SWOT? Okay, so this is the strategy design process. Okay, this is SWOT, very small portion of it. And today we're going to go over the overview, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That is SWOT. I'm going to go over the benefits and limitations of the process, and then discuss my future uses in professional and personal terms, and then I'll give you a fun little example. Please note that for the requirements I will be covering the what is SWOT and everything fairly quickly, so that I may get to my future uses and example the brunt of the discussion. Okay, so let's try that one more time. What is SWOT? Okay, we got strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats over here. Let's start with strengths, weaknesses. Those are your positive, negative, internal factors. You know, what are you good at? What are you not good at? You know, everything that comes from inside. This is you. You know, a positive is a strength, negative, weakness. Okay, and then everything from the outside. You know, the outside world, other people, other businesses, social media, that kind of thing. Those are opportunities and threats. Those are external factors, external forces, if you will, that are either positive or negative. At this point, I'd like to let you know that SWOT analysis is kind of pros and cons list, an organized pros and cons list that you're basically going to just fill out everything that you can think of that is pertinent to the problem that you're trying to solve, and from all this info, you're going to try to come up with a solution for your problem. Okay, starting out with strengths, the S in SWOT. Okay, what are strengths? Those are the internal positive forces, okay? Things we do well, things our company does well, available resources, assets, that kind of thing. Things that we can do better than our competitors, intellectual property like copyrights and patents, experience, that kind of thing, talent, core competencies, can you think well? Weaknesses, okay? Areas where the company is lacking. Limitations, things that other people are doing better than you, basically. If it is not a strength, then the opposite of that would be a weakness, okay? Opportunities, okay? Capital, press, media, social media. Can you get your name out there? Are they talking good about you? Early identification of a need. Can you figure out what's going to be coming on, what's going to be good before it actually is? Kind of like knowledge of trends. New market openings, and then weaknesses in other companies, kind of go easy on that, use your moral judgment on that. And then the opposite of the opportunities are the threats, the competitors. Biggest threat, changes to law, code, and policy. You know, if you have changes to laws, you might have to use different raw materials, might have to get them shipped from further away, that's going to cost you more. Declining market, maybe you have something that's more of a product that's like a want than a need, and things might go bad in the economy, and people should be buying their needs before they buy their wants. So, that can cause a decline in market. And then this last one's big, technology. You got to keep up with technology. If you don't keep up with technology, it's going to be bad for you, and your competitors are going to crush you. So, okay, the benefits of SWOT analysis. You can use it in any situation. You have a small problem, big problem, it really doesn't matter. You can get out some paper and start making your lists, and you can do your SWOT analysis. And it's really easy, basically free. I encourage you to look at the Harvard Business Review, and I have that in my references at the end. They give you a good outline of what you should do for your SWOT analysis. One tool for stories, SWOT, SWOT. You can figure that all from sitting down and just doing this one free analysis. Okay, the limitations. This is all based on opinion. There's no numbers. You're going on discussions, basically. What have people done in the past, future? There's no right or wrong generally. There's no proofs or theorems for this. It's all based on opinion. It requires leadership and clarity, and searching for the problem, you got to find all that stuff beforehand, or else you're just going to get stuck making all these lists of things that might not be pertinent to the problem that you're trying to solve. And then the big thing is you have to justify who the ultimate leader is, so it doesn't get caught up in like a political situation where the strong man is making all the decisions and it's not really a benefit to the company. Okay, so our design process again, and so for myself, I'll be using SWOT. I want to start a company, so I can make my analysis. I can start interviewing people, do a SWOT analysis on who I have to figure out who I need to hire, where I want to start my company, what little niche I possibly need to go for. That can all be solved by a SWOT analysis. You can really develop a real world thinking, and you might really realize some things that you didn't notice before if you just start writing it down and getting it all together. Okay, and then you might have competitors that you're kind of in competition with them, but you may figure out through a SWOT analysis that maybe an opportunity arises where you guys can use each other in a partnership, and then then I'd be able to grow my company through that partnership, or the increase in knowledge that another firm or another person might be able to give to you. But I personally would like to start a business, like I said, and I will be using this SWOT analysis in basically every facet that's just not a yes/no question. If I have to think about it, this is a great way to get my ideas on paper so that I can move forward. Okay, and in my personal life, personal investments. Should I buy stock? Let's do a SWOT analysis. Should I buy a new home? Where should I buy a new home? Should I go East Coast or West Coast? Well, let's look at the positives and negatives to all that. Large purchases, like I said, a home, a vehicle. You can do comparisons and give positives and negatives for each side, and then figure out which one you want to do. And like I said before, partnerships. With your friends, you may not want to do too many SWOT analyses on your friends, but anytime you don't have just a yes or no answer right off the flip, a SWOT analysis can help you. And to basically show how this can help in both personal and professional life, I found a good example. This is not my example, but I did find it, and we'll cite it in my references. But here we go. I like to play some music, and so I developed the SWOT analysis, or put this together anyway, for playing music around. Okay, so what are some of the strengths? We got a good, strong Twitter following, email list. Big on the internet. We've got a couple new songs out. That's a good thing. Those are our strengths that playing musicians would want to have. Some of the weaknesses. We don't have any tour sponsors. Our live performances haven't been great. That kind of thing. We're not getting a certain type of music nailed down, or whatever. What the band's not doing all that well. Okay. Opportunities. There's 2 festivals coming around. We can play at those. There's a couple of new bars opening up. We can play at those. Those are ways to get out there, take advantage of those opportunities. And then the threats, there's a bunch of competitors, other similar bands, that's a threat. Bars are closing down, there's no places to play. That kind of thing is a threat. So I hope you like this example. Okay, and my references are all labeled here. I will not discuss them for brevity, but here's the Harvard Business Review. I suggest looking into that, and this is where I actually got the example that I spoke about from. So in closing, thank you very much. My name is Taylor McBride. If you have any questions, please email me at temcbrid@email.uark.edu. Thank you and have a good day.